Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. For today's video, we have 8 NBA teams who will fall apart this NBA season, 8 who will actually improve. This is an article by Dylan Jacobs. So basically, we are going to go through each one of these teams here, and I'm going to give you guys my own personal opinion on if I think they will fall apart or come together, or the reasons behind it. So let's get started on this, guys. If you can please do me a quick favor and please drop a like on this video, guys. It takes 1 second, and it really does help my channel out so much. Thank you guys all so much for that. Also, if you guys do enjoy these NBA discussions, over on my second channel, guys, Extra Crispy, link in the description below, also the pinned comment of this video. I do NBA discussions, so all sorts of content every single day. It's so much fun over there, so I would love if you went over there, guys, and hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for that. Without further ado, let's get started on this article, see what it's all about. So the first thing we have as fall apart is the Dallas Mavericks. So I know, like, first thought is, I mean, this team is already falling apart. I mean, they're like going into total rebuild mode. Dennis Smith Jr. is a nice piece to their team, but the reason this team is listed as falling apart is because, there might be sanctions against the Dallas Mavericks due to Mark Cuban's comments about tanking. The NBA takes that very seriously. They do not want teams, saying that they are going to tank, because as a result, that is going to tell NBA fans of that team that we are not trying to win. So why would somebody pay a ticket for a game that they know their team is trying to lose and not even be competitive in? So yeah, so that's why they are listed as falling apart. I don't know what those sanctions actually would be. It might be loss of draft picks, restrictions and free agency, things along those lines. But yeah, it's like when you make comments like that, you're definitely not helping your team at all. Although I think Mark Cuban probably meant for those comments to be more private than vocal as they were. Although Mark Cuban, that doesn't really not go in the same sentence. Next up, we have improve San Antonio Spurs. So the reason the Spurs are listed right there, I know there's trade rumors and kind of, rumors about Kawhi Leonard maybe not leaving this, or maybe leaving the San Antonio Spurs. I'm not totally convinced it is going to happen. I mean, if it were to happen, I wouldn't be 100% surprised by it. With that being said, even if they do trade Kawhi Leonard, chances are they're going to get a really nice player or draft picks back for him. But the reason is because, of course, with Kawhi Leonard being out for most of this NBA season, the Spurs have a chance of not making the playoffs, which means they would get a lottery pick, which means Greg Popovich would somehow end up, getting a really nice player out of it. A player they're talking about right here, man, is Mohamed Bamba, somebody like that, because it just seems like no matter who the San Antonio Spurs manage to draft, they always end up being a really good player anyway. So yeah, I mean, that would definitely improve their team, adding a lottery pick to this team, not to mention with Kawhi Leonard being back after this NBA season. If he does decide to stay with the team, that's improvement right there. So it totally does make sense. LaMarcus Aldridge had an all-star caliber season. He was an all-star. So yeah, this team is going to be fine going into the next NBA season, no doubt. Next up, we have fallen apart Los Angeles Clippers. You know what, man? I always have difficult talking about the Clippers because I never know what direction this team is going to take. Because this team, you could tell from the general manager's comments, they do not want to fall apart. They kind of want to teeter on the, mediocrity, and that's just not a good look for this team. I really do think this team needs to fall apart and start rebuilding itself into an NBA contender, because the rebuild can take 5 to 10 years before your team is really, really out there to compete, unless you get lucky in the draft or a free agent decides to sign their team. But if you're actually doing a full-on rebuild, trusting the process, I mean, how many years did it take the 76ers to get back to the relevant point now? So it's like you want to speed that up as quick as possible. When it comes to the Clippers, they need to do that, because no matter what team they put together right now, it's not going to be good enough to finish first or second place or third place in the Western Conference. You start the rebuilding process, start stacking up on some draft picks, young players, improving on those players, and then by the time your team is ready to go, well, all of a sudden, James Harden's older, you got Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, they're older, LeBron James is retired. So I think they need to start rebuilding for that future, get rid of DeAndre Jordan, and start investing in your young talent out there. Next up, we have improve the Los Angeles Lakers. This could go either way. I mean, I don't think this team is going to get any worse. I don't think that's going to happen. But I think this team could actually get like a lot better or just a little better. It depends how they go, because this NBA season, they're not making the playoffs. Now, this team goes out and gets LeBron James, gets Kawhi Leonard somehow, gets Paul George, gets DeMarcus Cousins, get every damn bitch-ass free agent out there. It's like, yeah, all of a sudden they are contending for NBA championships. Where if none of those guys decide to sign with the Lakers, I do think Paul George is going to go to this team, though. Then they will improve in the sense of, Lonzo Ball being a year better, having a season under his belt. Maybe they get Isaiah Thomas back, who is good for 15 to 20 points per game, even off their bench. Brandon Ingram's a year better, a year in the weight room. You got Kyle Kuzma, but probably get Julius Randle back, too. So it all depends on how much this team will improve. Next up, we got fall apart Orlando Magic. Now, I personally think that Aaron Gordon is not going to be a member of the Orlando Magic next NBA season. Now, people, they argue saying that, well, he is a restricted free agent, so he will, any contract he gets is going to get matched. But unless the Magic think that Aaron Gordon is their building piece of the future, it doesn't really make sense to keep him around, and you're wasting his NBA talent out there. Now, I will say, I would agree if the Orlando Magic doing some sort of sign and trade, that would be nice for them, just because at least they could get some sort of value out of him instead of just letting him, like, walk away to a different NBA team. But in sign and trade, maybe for a first-round draft pick, maybe 2 first-round draft picks, some good young prospects out there would be the right direction for this Magic team to go. With that being said, though, even if they decide to keep him around, this team, not to mention, man, he would have a bitch-ass contract because he's going to get, like, a max contract just being an athletic 23-year-old power forward out there who can shoot three-pointers. Because this team has a lot of money already invested in Evan Fournier, Jonathan Isaac, who knows if he's still going to be in the NBA. It's just like this team's going to have a lot of money locked up in players that are not really going to guarantee them a championship. I have no idea how Evan Fournier got like a $71 million contract. He's a good shooting guard. He's not that good, though. Next up, we got improve Sacramento Kings. So it says, yeah, Buddy Hield's had a pretty nice NBA season. Willie Cauley-Stein is decent out there. It says he's no DeMarcus Cousins, but we didn't really expect him to be. De'Aaron Fox is going to have, his rookie season under his belt. I am a little afraid of the sophomore slump hitting De'Aaron Fox. He really needs to show sign of improvements. They're going to get a lottery pick out there. They still have Harry Giles, who hasn't played this NBA season, who probably, if he would have stayed healthy, would have been like a top 5 pick in the NBA draft that he came out of. So, yeah, this team will improve. They're not playoff ready next NBA season. I still think they're probably about 4 or 5 years away from seriously making some noise out there. Players like De'Aaron Fox, it does take them a little bit more time out there to really develop to be that next level player. So I say about 4 or 5 NBA seasons. But as long as this team continues to win, a little bit more every NBA season and kind of work on their weaknesses and their flaws, bring in the talent, then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, this team will become something someday. I just don't know when that day is going to be. Next up, we have fall apart the New York Knicks. This I disagree with. I didn't read this stuff down here. If you guys want to read that and argue with me, that's fine, but I'm not going to read it. I'm going to fall apart. I'm going to say they're not going to fall apart because Kristaps will be back and healthy. He's 7'3". The team is going to have a lottery player out there. Might be a Trae Young. Trey Burke has been balling out. Frank Ntilikina, I still think is going to be a nice NBA player. Tim Hardaway is a decent 20-point per game scorer out there for a lot of money, unfortunately. But this team gets really lucky in the lottery and gets himself a good small forward like a Michael Porter Jr., who I'd love to see on this team. Then yeah, this team is not going to fall apart. I don't understand the mindset there. Okay, maybe I'll read a little bit here. It says Kristaps is going to be out until the next calendar year. Whoa, is that true? Okay, that I did not know. Okay, I mean that's not great. But yeah, I don't think this team is going to fall apart. It might just take a little step back. But fall apart, I think of like a team just like losing out on all their players and just starting from the bottom. Okay, next up we have improve the Cleveland Cavaliers. This team could also go one of 2 ways, because if LeBron James decides to leave, then this team is going to fall apart. I mean, yes, they do have that Brooklyn Nets lottery pick, which is going to be pretty decent, although the Nets are a bit better this season than teams probably acknowledged. I do wish they would have used that draft pick and traded for a star player like a DeMarcus Cousins before the NBA trade line. They did not, though. But yeah, so if LeBron James stays on the team, well, then you still have Kevin Love. Jordan Clarkson looks like he's going to be a great NBA player. I mean, he's 25, so we kind of know what Jordan Clarkson is, but I do think he is going to improve. Rodney Hood's probably going to get a sizable contract. You got Larry Nance Jr. Tristan Thompson's bitch-ass contract is 1 year closer to being up. But I'm just kind of curious, like, what player would fit nicely on this team with that Brooklyn Nets pick? I don't know who they're going to go for. Now, if they got really lucky and got like a Luka Doncic with LeBron James, that'd be very interesting to see. Very curious to see what player they end up getting, though. Next up, we got fall apart Atlanta Hawks. Another team that's already fallen apart. I don't got much to say about them. Dennis Schroeder says figures to be traded in the offseason. I don't really know which team would go for him. John Collins is a nice-looking player out there as far as the stats go. I don't know. It's like the team's already falling apart. They don't really have much more room to go. I guess the falling apart, you say like they have like no talent at all, but they'll get something for Dennis Smith, or not Dennis Smith. I'm sorry, for Dennis Schroeder. I just don't know what it would be exactly. I mean, I would probably, he do have a bad contract, so I think if I trade for Dennis Smith, I keep on saying that, Dennis bitch-ass Schroeder, man. If I kept on trading for Dennis Schroeder, I would probably give up a first-round draft pick. I would do that. He's that type of point guard. Depends on the team, though, that he's going to. And maybe toss in a bitch-ass contract, because the Hawks would be able to absorb that, seeing how they would be in a rebuild. So I think that would be kind of a nice fit. I'd like to see him go to a team maybe like the San Antonio Spurs. I think he would be nice under Greg Popovich. Next up, we got improved Denver Nuggets. Yeah, this team still needs a point guard. That's all I pretty much got to say about that. Jokic is nice. Paul Millsap will be healthy. Jamal Murray looks like he's going to be something in the NBA. He already is kind of something. I like Will Barton a lot. But this team still needs that veteran point guard to lead the squad out there. I really want them to get somebody like Mike Conley. Don't know if it'll happen or not. Next up, we got fall apart. Well, speaking of Mike Conley, Memphis Grizzlies. Yes, I expect Marc Gasol to be traded this season. I expect Mike Conley to be gone. Tyreke Evans not going to resign with them. They are the worst team in the NBA currently. I believe record-wise, they were on like an 18-game losing streak. I don't know what that is at currently. Hopefully, they won a game by now. But yeah, this team is totally going to fall apart. But you really think about it, man. Like, if Mike Conley's healthy, Marc Gasol is healthy, they get Tyreke Evans. They get Dillon Brooks out there back playing, everything like that. The team is actually pretty nice on paper, just not a team that is going to do much. So it's like, yeah, they'll get you some wins. They might make the playoffs with that squad all healthy, but it's just not really like worth it at this point. It's like it's time to rebuild, time to just hit the reset button. Next up, we got improve Brooklyn Nets. I guess. I mean, I don't really know how they're going to play Spencer Dinwiddie and D'Lo together at all the time. They're going to have Jeremy Lin back, who's another point guard added to the roster, unless they trade him away. Jarrett Allen is a good player out there. Looks like, you know, a decent, I think he even has a nice little jump shot too. So I guess if you want to say improve in the mindset that they are going to be like a year better, a year more mature, that's fine to say. I really don't know what this team is going to do as far as free agents, though. I do think that they're another team that needs to bring in a veteran player to really like lead the locker room and things along those lines. Next up, we got fall apart Charlotte Hornets. Yes, I fully expect Kemba Walker to be traded this season. I know Michael Jordan is going out there saying stuff like, no, man, I want a freaking superstar back for Kemba. It's not going to happen. He's not going to get that much back for him. He'll get something back, but it's not going to be what Michael Jordan wants out there. So, but as far as like, outside of Kemba Walker, you have Dwight Howard, who's going to be like 33, I think, at that point. So it's like, he's not really got much trade value to him. Team has a lot of bitch-ass contracts, so Nicholas Batum to name one of them out there. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is an okay player. But yeah, it's like the team just, I don't know, it's the team that never was, which is kind of sad because I thought the Charlotte Hornets, you know, 1-2 seasons ago was really going to be a great team in the East, especially in the Eastern Conference. It just seems like they're not going to be, though. Improve Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah, Giannis, I mean, MVP caliber player out there. You got Eric Bledsoe, Malcolm Brogdon. I really do think they need to trade Brogdon for a defensive-oriented center. I would have loved to see him get traded to the Clippers for DeAndre Jordan. I think that would have helped a lot of their defensive issues and have that solidified big guy in the middle. As far as Jabari Parker goes, I don't know if he's going to be back on this NBA team. I know that I've heard rumors about him potentially leaving. He is restricted, so it depends if the Bucks actually want to give him that money, though, and what kind of contract other teams throw at him. I don't think this team needs Jabari Parker. I think they need something else that's not him. So, yeah, give me your thoughts on that in the comment section below. Next up, we got fall apart Miami Heat. I mean, I guess if they trade like Hassan Whiteside, you can kind of go that route and say this team's full on rebuild mode. Goran Dragic, he's not getting any younger. Dion Waiters was a bit of an overpay. He had one good NBA season in his contract year. Dwayne Wade, I think, is probably going to retire. So yeah, it just once again comes down to a matter if this team wants to hit the reset button and just say, okay, Hassan Whiteside, Goran Dragic is our main core. It's not going to do much for us. But if you keep those guys and you do manage to sign a pretty good NBA player, it's like there's a lot of free agents that do want to play in Miami. Like, that would be a nice living right there. So I don't really know about that one. And we have improve the Phoenix Suns. Yeah, I think this team needs Marvin Bagley or DeAndre Ayton. That is what you guys need to go for in the draft. If Michael Porter's there, you want to take a shot at him, go for it. But you already do have Josh Jackson, who I still think is going to be a good NBA player. You got Devin Booker out there, who is still very young and one of the best shooting guards in the NBA. Elfrid Payton looking like it was a nice pickup right there too. It's just this team needs the big guy out there. I don't know who it's going to be. I would personally like to see this team get DeAndre Ayton. We'll see if that actually happens. So yeah, guys, let me know about this in the comment section below. As far as your favorite NBA team, do you think they are going to improve, or do you think they are going to degrade this next NBA offseason? Me being a Detroit Piston fan, I do think there's going to be some trades made that is going to help maybe build around Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond. I don't know what that trade is going to be. I do think Reggie Jackson's probably going to be gone. Maybe Stanley Johnson, potentially Luke Kennard too, when you maybe entice a team to take on a certain trade. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to my channel, and peace out, my friends.